God, I love titling my live stream my broadcast. Oh my god. So what's up, chat? How is it going? Oh, I was like, what the hell?
Are you?
Oh, no. I'm definitely not talking about my
Theoretically, can you just infinitely watch these Twitch streams because
joking, family. Sort of proves my
they're
point.
not, like, you can't be copyright striked? I don't even know how it works on YouTube, to be honest with you, because I don't just sit there and watch YouTube videos.
I think sometimes they'll present another issue, and I kind of just go, oh
First
yeah,
message, Peanut.
making up a problem again, and I just smile and shrug it off because I think all people are flawed, and I don't really.
Ah, I get it.
I think the mark of a mature person is those that can see flaws in others. Yet instead of writing them
What
off,
day are we on this subathon?
in spite of that.
Like
I agree. I agree.
a week? 1 week?
Even people who seek conflict can still be fun to be around. Some of my favorite
Uh,
people are reckless, chaotic, and surprising.
Guess I'll just leave that there. I don't know. Still kind of just looking around for a camera. Kind of toying with the idea, you know. What the hell? There's no way this is worth $4 grand. I don't think I'll get a Nikon. I don't even know what is what. Z6. Wait. See, I always forget. I'm acting like I've taken more than a single look at Nikon cameras. Wait. Z6. Yeah, so that's this. So that's not 45,000 shutter count? Holy. People really be using these. Is this their 24 megapixel one? Yeah. This full frame? I don't know, man. I've been over this. Like, I love the Canon bodies. Canon has some of the best bodies, I think, in the business. They have some of the most expensive lenses and limited selection of lenses. It's not even that limited. It's just expensive, man, for no reason. You know? Well, this is not even this is the Z6. It's not the Z6 II. Nikon actually has some very interesting lenses that are actually very well priced. Like they have that 24 to 120 f4, which is a really good lens, and it's like $1,000. It's not. See, Canon. That's the difference, man. it's like people go, well, you pay for the Canon, the quality of the Canon glass. Dude, Nikon like destroys that whole theory. Because almost all of Nikon's like good lenses are $1,000, maybe 1,500 at most, and they're very good, like interesting, unique lenses that are pushing the limits and stuff. Z8, Z6, yeah. God, it is crazy how much of a chokehold Canon and Sony have on the market, though. Like, watch this. You see how many here's one R6. Maybe not. Here's another R6. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I just feel like there's more selection on Facebook and stuff. I haven't checked like yeah, this site doesn't really have anything. Yeah, Sony is just, I don't know. There's Sony doesn't, their like mid-range area is not, I don't think it's very competitive, honestly. Now, I mean, maybe you could argue that you spend more for the camera, but you spend way less for the lenses, and it balances out in the end. That is actually probably a fair argument. But I mean, people pay a lot for these Sony cameras, and why is there only one? Hello? Why, huh? FE? Is it technically FE? Okay, well, fuck me then. It was his emote on the cap, but what do I know? Yeah, so what do we have here? These are all way out of budget. All of these just way out of budget. Even these way out of budget, way out of budget. Like you have to go down to an A7 III or like an Alpha A9. Like these three cameras. But these are either kind of old, kind of lacking in one way or the other, or just too expensive for what they are. Yeah, 24 megapixels, fine. 42, 24. So these two, these alphas, they're all alphas. A7R, I don't even know, man. Sony's naming is bad. 9.9 frames per second. 2017. I mean, not necessarily a bad thing, but you're gonna notice a couple things, you know. Live view. That's funny. I'm gonna sneeze. Jesus Christ. Has slow-mo video. I don't know, man. They're just too expensive. This is what it comes down to. Like at the end of the day, they're just too expensive. Like A7 III. I believe I did look into the A7 III, but yeah, it's from 2018, and I think it was kind of slacking on the video capabilities. It's just what it was. I don't know. E-mount is nice, but it's just not. I don't know. And some of these are like really old, which I like. I don't know, man. See, these are kind of really old. This is probably from 2015. Like 2015, we're down to 720p video or 120 FPS. You know, autofocus gets considerably worse. Is that even a articulating screen? It has to be. There's no way. You know, battery life gets worse. And like this is more than I paid for my Canon R8. The R8 kind of blows this out of the water. To be fair, that was a good deal, but like you can find an R8 for around $1,000. Not too difficultly. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really any other. Fujifilm was kind of interesting. I haven't really looked into it at all. Because I don't know what's going on with Fujifilm, honestly. HX2. Like I don't know. This feels like a weird. Is this even? I think this is APS-C. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about these, to be honest with you. XS20. What is, I wonder what the Fuji X mount is looking like, because I think it's that's the smallest mount by far, right? Or not, like in terms of, I don't know, people using it. 2K. 30 frames per second? Damn. 2023. How many megapixel? 26.1. Yeah, I know nothing about these cameras. I don't see myself buying one though. Yeah, that's so I've basically gone through every manufacturer, kinda, you know. These are so goofy, bro. These are so goofy. I remember watching videos on this, like with a couple more changes, like okay, I could have seen it. But my god. Like one of the biggest problems with this is the screen. Not even that it doesn't tilt, but it's super dim and well, yeah, it also doesn't tilt, but it's super dim and like small. It's like you can't even, and there's no viewfinder, so it's just like I don't know, very strange. What did these retail for? Didn't they retail for a lot more than that? No, okay, I guess they're right where they always were. I feel like the with the BF, it's kind of oops, it's kind of one of those things where they just didn't sell any of them. Yeah, so you notice there's no used ones. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a cool concept, though. Honestly, it really could have been interesting, you know, because there's a full frame, like, tiny camera on L mount, which, you know, trendy. But, you know, whatever. Yeah, really the most interesting is what is an other mirrorless? Nothing. Really the most interesting is Panasonic. This I think in terms of value. Like this is so cheap, man. This is so especially when you compare it to Sony cameras, like this is really cheap. S5 II, you know, basically brand new. These have like no shutter counts. Pro body, made of metal, completely weather sealed. It's got a fan in there, 6K open gate. I mean, it's got its flaws, but it's just like, I mean, you can't do better than that in terms of price. And L mount is pretty good for compatibility. I mean, okay, this and the R6 II are very similar in a lot of ways. Not every way. Like the R6 II is a faster camera, but this is a better video camera. So, you know, but this is $1,900 and this is 13. That's huge. And then you have to spend so much more to get glass for this. So it's just like, man. And this doesn't even have like the EF mount benefit because you can just adapt EF to this. You know, if you really want to go cheap, you can just adapt old DSLR lenses. I don't know, man. I have to try it. I might eventually end up getting one. I'm not sure, but to me the biggest thing, the biggest problem is the shutter speed for these or the FPS. This can only do 7 frames per second. It can do 30 in digital, but then you fall back to the horrible autofocus system that people clowned on Lumix for you know this whole time in the mirrorless market. So it's like, well, in any situation where you need that, I don't think you're going to be using it. You know, because it's just, and the sensor speed is slow, so it's like you're gonna get rolling shutter as well. Yeah, that isn't a problem on this. It's just the lenses, man. I'm just so I'm so sick of Canon. I'm so sick of Canon and their fucking business practices. That's the biggest thing, man. Is that I am just so sick of Canon fucking coming out with lenses and you're like, "Oh, it's $1,100. Fuck you. We're not giving you a hood." It's like, "Okay, Canon. Like, come on. You really got to squeeze the extra $5 out of me that you would have lost from that." What do I know?
Ever again.
Sorry, ma'am. I I mean, it would be a bit funny going as two different sizes of horror monsters.
And it really would be nice to have kind of like an actual pro body. You know what I'm saying? Like actually weather sealed. Because that's the other thing too. Some of the things, man, in the camera industry, I hate. The fucking the vagueness on weather sealing. I hate it. It's like, oh, it's water and dust resistant, but only in certain spots. Kinda. Like, okay, yes or no? Like, can I go and take this out in light rain and snow, or can I not? For something that is, for things that are so expensive, it's so, I don't know. Very strange. The only company that actually, this is crazy thing, I know this is crazy, IP certifies their camera is OM System. Seriously, and it's such a, it's just for a camera specifically, you know, it's not like how OnePlus back in the day used to not pay for the certification to get their cameras IP certified, but like you knew they were. They were just as weather sealed as the other phones that were rated for it. You know, because it's all glued together and they got rubber gaskets on everything and it's fine. But cameras like the R8, it's like some around the buttons is weather sealed maybe, but not the battery door and like the bottom side of the camera. So like it's a little bit, but not much. Like it's just, it's like, okay, well, can or can I not? You know. But I do really like, I do really like full frame. So I don't think I could see myself. Honestly, I'm just addicted to that range and that definition of these of the full frame cameras. But otherwise, if it wasn't for that, man, I really could see myself just buying one of these, you know. These are really good. Like these pack a lot of features. They're great video cameras and they're pretty compact too. Like they have a lot of, and they're cheap, you know. And lenses are good. And they're fast sensors. I mean, that's what makes them so capable. Where is... Yeah, I don't get why sometimes it doesn't... So the most expensive is the OM. These are just so economical. I don't know. It's just a lot of situations I can't see myself without the ISO capability of a full frame camera anymore, because it was such a big difference, even from going from an APS-C, a modern APS-C camera, to a full frame. It was immediately like, whoa, there's a huge difference. You know, something like a Canon R50, you know, which is an average 24 megapixel APS-C camera. You know, you could get away with barely 6400. And then kind of after that, it was like, okay, we are kind of going beyond the range of what you can kind of save in terms of noise. But on a full frame, man, it's just like you can go ISO 4000 all day. AI denoise that in Lightroom and like holy hell, like you have a really good picture. So yeah, I don't know. I think I value that too much a little bit. And in some ways it doesn't matter that much. Like I gotta see what I don't know. I wanna look at the lenses again. The one thing I will say for like 99% of people, dude, literally just buy this. Literally just buy this and call it a decade. Like, this is. I cannot describe how far this punches above its weight in just terms of everything. And it's $700. It's under a grand. Like, brand new. It's crazy. You know, it's probably a little small for some people. I know people get real fucking antsy about that type of stuff. But on the flip side, a lot of people like a camera that's smaller. And this is quite, you can fit this even with like a 50 millimeter, like 1.7, like my Lumix little prime that I have. You can literally just stick this in your coat pocket and like zip it up. Easy. You know, 20 megapixels, that's fine. That's, you know, you're almost double a normal smartphone. So you get good resolution, completely actually weather sealed, not fucking whatever the hell. Autofocus, great. Stabilization, amazing. Great video features. This is a good sensor, this 20 megapixel sensor. It's a good sensor. All of the sort of cool extra little features that Olympus system throws in there. And it looks nice too. Like, it's a very handsome camera. Especially in silver. I don't know why anyone would ever buy one of these in black. Also, I guess MPB doesn't know how to expose their photos properly. Yeah, these are tough little cameras too, man. These are really, I mean, this is full magnesium, real, you know. Oh, this is stacked too, that OM1. 1000 point. Up to 120. Okay, that's with a. Okay, that's with locked. That's crazy, man. $4K 60 10-bit, 240p slow mo, IP53, dual SD. That's decent. It's not like, yeah, 5 water spray, meaning water sprayed at angles 60 degrees from vertical. Suitable for rain but not submersion. Even this, honestly. Damn, even these are pretty cheap now. This is basically the plastic version of the EM5. They're very similar. You lose like weather sealing and stuff. What was the other question? Damn, 7 stops is fucking insane. That's crazy, bro. 8 milliseconds? That's so fast. That's so fast. Like, really, man. I think people have started to come around, back around to Olympus or Micro Four Thirds in general. I think there was a period for a second there people were like, "Oh, Micro Four Thirds is dead. It's blah 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 blah." But it's still, it's just there's a lot of things, man, that you just cannot do that no other brand does. You know, you get these just super fast cameras that are still like really compact and they're just way cheaper. I mean, when the most expensive Olympus camera is, around this price, I mean, for 2026, that's pretty good. And then you can get stuff like this, fucking collab lens with Leica. And this is a 200 to 800 millimeter. Like, that's crazy. Equivalent 200 to 800 millimeter. And you get the Sync IS, I believe. Or no, this is for Panasonic, so you went with this body. But lenses like this don't exist. Like, it doesn't, it's almost just a physics problem. Because you can't have a 200 to 800. Wait, isn't the, yeah, hold on. Yeah. So here's here's a 200 to 800 full frame, and here's a 200 to 800 micro four thirds. Like this is the size of a 70 to 200 2.8 on a full, like a full frame body. This lens I rented, and I am so glad I rented it because it was too big. It wasn't the weight, it was literally the circumference of the lens. I actually couldn't operate this zoom ring properly. It was just too large. And this is a f9 lens. It wasn't even that sharp too. Like it's not, the reach on a full frame is incredible, but I feel like people forget that literally this exists, and it's sharper and lighter and optically better and way cheaper. Because this is $2,000 from Canon. And there's just so many compromises. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I will probably end up buying, and even this, I don't know. One day I will probably end up buying a OM5 slash or a, yeah, OM5 slash EM5. I forgot yeah, I told you this naming scheme was not good. These are like the same camera. This is right when Olympus, what was it? They like was what it got called out for. They got caught uh in a huge fraud scandal case, and then they liquidated their whole everything, and then the rights to the Olympus brand was bought by a buyer, and then they changed the name to OM System. I cannot express how glad I am that that happened, man. Because when you look at it, because Olympus made actually a lot of things. They made like microscopes and medical equipment and stuff. It was a big Japanese company. But a lot of the times when some shit like that happens, I mean, it just goes the way of the dodo and everything's gone, you know? So I'm so glad that someone saw the benefit, saw the value in this camera brand and decided to keep it going. And so far, they've been doing a pretty good job. I mean, they've basically just been doing what Olympus was doing. If anything, kind of, you know, going more towards, you know, some of those little extra features like the computational photography, like LiveND and stuff, and blah, 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 blah. That kind of made them special. And they're just playing to the strengths of Micro Four Thirds, and it works, you know. It actually works. Been doing a good job. Like I said, I think they're kind of coming back. Or Micro Four Thirds is kind of coming back, at least a little bit. Yeah, I'll probably eventually get one of these, because you can get these on eBay for even cheaper. And this was the first one with like the good autofocus. Yeah, you can get it for $500. Duty paid. You don't even gotta. Yeah, I gotta get one of these, man. Honestly. Oh, this one's in rough shape, but I probably should have just bought one of these instead of my EM10 Mark III. Because I actually really like the EM10 Mark III. It serves its purpose perfectly, which is just to be a secondary camera that I don't really care about breaking, and is extremely, well, not extremely, but very small. You know, it's portable. You can just slip this into a winter jacket front pocket with a lens on it, you know. Especially with the old 14 to 42 kit lens. But it would, the thing is that the autofocus is fine for what I use it for, which is just single shot, you know. I almost never need to use continuous, or I don't use continuous because it sucks ass and is unusable. But you know, I'm just doing, I don't know, I'm walking around in Detroit at night or something, and I just want a little camera to just slip in and out of my pocket, and if someone fucking beats the shit out of me and steals everything I own, I'm not gonna be pissed that I just lost my Canon R8. I'm just go, oh well, it was only my $300 Olympus EM10 Mark III. I'll just buy another one for the same exact price. Damn, 32,000 shots. These are such a good deal, though. Because if I got this, it would solve. It's not that I need it, but it would just be so cool. It might even make me not care about my full frame camera. Because in a lot of ways, this is better than the R8. This has like top of the line IBIS. The R8 has no such thing. This has a full magnesium body with weather sealing. The R8 almost has no such thing. You know, lenses are cheap, which is a thing that I hate about Canon. And who doesn't like a light camera, you know? And if the autofocus was solved, you know, then it's kind of like, well, why am I going to pick the R8 up, you know? And this is a 20 megapixel sensor. So I think even, because that's another thing about the current Olympus camera I have. It is a little bit, it is noticeable going from 16 megapixels to 24 megapixels of the Canon camera that I have. It's pretty noticeable. Like, you know, you punch in while editing like that and you go, oh yeah, that, you know, that difference makes sense. But 20 versus 24, you're not gonna really notice that too much. The ISO is much, 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 much worse though. The ISO handling, the low light performance. If you go, it's not as bad as you would think, to be honest, but like, if you go like to 3200-ish, 4000-ish, you're kind of like, ooh, kind of pushing it a little. Even with you know, the denoising programs and stuff like that, which we all rely on oh so much now. But it's not really The thing is, it's not that big of a deal. It just means you have to slow down. The poor low light performance is offset by the crazy image stabilization this camera has, just built in. You know, like 6 or 7 stops or whatever it is, some crazy shit like that. But obviously you can't, you know, if you need to shoot something fast in the dark, well, that's not gonna help you. You know, if you're trying to take pictures of people opening up Christmas presents in sort of a poorly lit living room, well, can't go down to a 1/30th or 1/15th of a second shutter speed. That's not gonna work. Because when I was doing that this year with my R8, my Canon R8, you know, I was at like 4,000, 5,000 ISO. And if you bump that to this on this camera, you're gonna kind of be, you're pushing it a little bit. It's definitely gonna be noticeable, a noticeable difference in quality. But on the flip side, like, you can just get kind of crazy bright lenses a lot of the times. So, you know, there's ups and downs. I guess that's what most people do, right? They just kind of buy more lenses for more specific scenarios and situations. And to be fair, you can get, if you're only paying $575 for your camera, you know, I mean, I guess you got some budget left for these. 35 to 100 f2.8. What? See, this is what I like about Micro Four Thirds. You get some like freaky lenses. So this is like a 60 to 200. I guess it's basically a 7. Okay, it's a 70 to 200. Okay, it's not freaky. I have to take it back. Look how small it is though. Like, it's just so crazy. I mean, a 70 to 200 f2.8 on a full frame with a full frame image circle is fucking huge. This is tiny. And Leica branding, so fancy. To be fair, the Panasonic Leica collab lenses, they're actually pretty good. Like, it's not just a nameplate. They're actually pretty good. Yeah, shit like this. You know, this is a 20 to like 50 mil. Yeah, 20 to 50 mil. Number one, that's already kind of, that is kind of a weird, that's like wider than usual for a standard zoom. And you may think this is expensive, but you're not getting this on no full frame lens. It's just not happening. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Like, it just does not exist. An f1.7 standard zoom, air quotes, it doesn't exist. I mean, the closest thing, like on Canon, is 28 to 70 f2. Is this. And look at that price. Yep. Good old Canon. I hate them so much. And this thing is huge, by the way. This thing is like a brick. It is a massive lens. And it's kind of, it's not even it's got some flaws. It's not like a perfect lens. They don't have like some pictures of the lens itself. No. Yeah, look at this thing. It's fucking huge. It's so girthy. You thought a 28 to or 24 to 70 was big. Not seen anything yet. And it's $3,400. Like, what the hell, man? I mean, don't get me wrong, it is an impressive because of the image circle that they have to, project, if that's the right word. It is an impressive lens, and that's why it's so expensive. But also, this is what, a fourth stop or whatever, or no, like half stop, I don't know, whatever it is. Half stop, fourth of a stop brighter. And it's $1,500. If you go on eBay, you could probably get one for probably. This seems like some of these lenses are usually kind of set in stone. Kind of doesn't really change too much from eBay to these type of sites. $100 to $400 for $1,000. Once again, Leica f2.8 to f4. Yeah, I guess that it. Maybe I should, man. Maybe I do. Before I go out and buy an S5 II, maybe I do just sell my EM10 Mark III and just really give the Micro Four Thirds system like a chance as being my main camera. I could get one of these lenses, try like some wildlife photography and stuff like that. See how that goes. Because yeah, these apertures are just insane for the price that you're paying. So you get to enjoy the benefits of a smaller camera, but also you get to enjoy the benefits of these just really bright apertures for, the price of a kind of mid lens on the full frame side. Like, look at this. Standard zoom, 12 to 40. It's actually a little wider than normal. For $674. That's not super uncommon, honestly. You can get some like L mount. It's more about kind of the specialty lenses where you really get such a drastic price difference between full frame and a smaller sensor like Micro Four Thirds. Like these. If you want a 50 mil, like this is the perfect example. This is the perfect example. Stuff like this, one doesn't even really, no, I mean it does exist, but the lens that Canon just released, it was a 45mm f1.2. So this is $469, so that's a good price for once. But it's so optically flawed. There's so much chromatic aberration and weird sharpness issues, and this has like a weird focusing issue on certain cameras. And this is probably like perfect. And Probably half the size. And it comes with a lens hood, Canon. And that's probably the nicer one. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones that are even cheaper. Like this mid-range right here. Yeah. This is the stuff, okay. Even lenses like this. I don't know the optical performance of this lens in particular, but this is a super zoom. This is what, like 28 to 2 something? Like this is a very long zoom range. And it has OIS. It's only a f5.6, which is not. I mean, nowadays Canon is going 6.3, 7.1, fucking f9. I think actually, sort of the Canon equivalent of this is probably about the same price, but it's like 3.5 to 7.1, and it's kind of rough optically. 7.1 is just so dark. It's very dark. So if you're trying to have like an APS-C camera, it's rough, man. It's rough. The lens selection on RF mount. I will say maybe that's kind of why they allowed third-party autofocus lenses on the APS-C side for Canon cameras. And the lens mount is just so much better for it. Like it's just, you got the 10 to 18 Sigma f2.8. You got the, I think it's like an 18 to 50 f2.8. Like that adds so much value, to a lens mount. Just Canon just does not get it. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're just making bank. I have to imagine. All of these like Lumix lenses I really like. I have a 25 mil f1.7, and it's the same like style, kind of all plastic construction, but it feels really solid, and like the focus ring is really smooth and stuff, and it's just a nice little lens. And I got it for $80. It's a f1.7. Like, okay. I don't know, man. First, I gotta get all my car shit taken care of. Get my goofy ass small Japanese vehicle imported, shipped, all that good stuff, and then get my Subaru restored and all that. And yeah. Look at this. 7 to 14 f4, a spherical. $400. That'd be like a 14 to, yeah, that's crazy. A 14 millimeter full frame equivalent, that's so wide. That is insanely wide. I'm surprised that this isn't, is this not a, yeah, I guess it's not, it's just cool. It's just barely at the edge of ultra, of like fisheye. Just barely. I do really have to get a macro lens for Micro Four Thirds. I'm so pissed actually. I was gonna buy some Micro Four Thirds lenses, and I had an old Canon 24 to 105 f4 sitting around that it wasn't it's a Sigma, but it's on Canon EF, and I was just not really using it. So I was like, oh, I'll just trade it in. You know, they're offering me a decent price, and I'll just get some Micro Four Thirds stuff. And then it gets to this website actually, to MPB, and they're like, oh, it's having an intermittent focusing issue. I'm like, no, it's not. I hope they're smoking something and it didn't get fucking drop kicked by a FedEx employee. If it did, I'm going to be so unbelievably pissed. I mean, it would kind of make sense because I was shipping it around Christmas, but I hope they're just smoking something, dude. There's no way. Or either that, it's like technically it's true, it's having some sort of focusing thing going on, but it's like not actually a problem. Hopefully it's something like that. 'Cause I swear to God, man, that was a nice lens. You know, I did use it every once in a while for video stuff. I think it's coming tomorrow. We'll see.
And sometimes I like it, but sometimes I'm like, what if my voice was cuter? What if my voice was cuter, you know?
I'll have to watch the clips of this.
I'm not really used to my voice at the moment, so I wonder how it'd sound if it was a little bit softer or higher pitched.
V3.
Yeah, because you just got a brand new voice, didn't you? I also sometimes I do wish my voice was a bit softer and less harsh, I think.
I think the feeling of wanting to make
no.
your voice softer ties into wanting to be cuter.
Shadow dropped V3.
Yeah, you're right. I think everybody deep down wants to be cuter.
For sure. I mean, there's something innately beautiful about a voice with a certain harshness to it.
Oh,
I think
permaband.
it's something I truly admire in.
You gotta always take. Oh, okay, it's just spam. Classic. Twitch chat is so goofy, man. Like, fucking Doc. I hate this fucking emo.
Looks. Some of them can be extremely mesmerizing.
I think everyone should get a little smaller and fluffier, is what I think. That would make me pretty happy.
Everyone getting a little smaller and fluffier would make the world a better place, I think. Like, imagine fluffy bunnies and fluffy dogs being the default instead of humans.
Question, you're gonna really like this one.
Oh, I'm excited. Let me hear it.
This chatter says, I'm in quite the dilemma. My girlfriend is replacing herself bit by bit with cybernetic augments. We're constantly arguing over what's the limit between her being a human or being a robot. I can't take this anymore, but I can't leave her either. What do I do?
This chatter can't get over the issues that his girlfriend is replacing herself and turning into something different.
Classic.
I find this quite sad, as he
What
should
is
just
this
accept
image?
his girlfriend for who she is.
Oh,
If she's
XQCL,
happy
right.
with her
How could I
gradual
forget?
changes, then why impose limits upon her? Forcing people against their will is wrong. Maybe you'll find love in a fellow Luddite if that's not your thing.
In a fellow. Wait.
Yeah, I think,
Ludwig.
I think he should just accept that she wants to be a robot.
If anything, being a robot might be objectively better. I'll have you know that we're faster, stronger, and smarter than most humans. In a few years, you'll be the ones wishing you could replace your part